Okay, so hear me out. Like, non-Pixar movie is bad. I don't consider any Pixar movie as bad. It's just I watched A Bug's Life for the first time like 2 years ago, and never again. It bored me a lot. The story didn't really grab me. I kept looking how long it took to be finished. It's just, I don't know. Heimlich was funny, but that was the only character that really, entertained me. After Toy Story, this was all a bit flat for me. So I give this movie a 5 out of 10. The movie is such an unnecessary movie. Cars that are spies? Why? I mean, after Cars 1, you finally like Lightning McQueen, and then 5 years later you get a movie with Mater as the leading character where you just all want to know about Lightning McQueen. It doesn't make sense. I mean, this movie wasn't boring, hence why this is higher than A Bug's Life. But they could totally have skipped this movie. So unnecessary. It still entertained me quite a bit, so I'm just gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Cars. I must say I watched this movie once, and it was years ago. Like, it entertained me more back then than I expected it to be. But after The Incredibles, for me, it was kind of a disappointment. I mean, I get why little boys would like this. I mean, cars who can talk and race. It's okay, I guess. I mean, it's not a bad movie, but compared to other Pixar gems, yeah, it's not that good. But I still give this a solid 7 out of 10 because I did enjoy it, watching it. It kind of frustrates me to put Bravely Slow, because even though Merida behaves like an annoying brat-a-laws, I still love the movie. I mean, the mother-daughter relationship is beautiful, just as the music. It's really great, and just the Scottish scenery, the landscapes, and it looks all really, really beautiful. I give this a 7.5 out of 10. Monsters University. Well, I thought this movie was really funny when I watched it. But compared to other Pixar movies, it ends up here. It doesn't really help either that, like, the movie contradicts with the first Monsters movie. It's all a bit fake. But it was a nice movie. I give this a 7.5 out of 10 also. Okay, so don't kill me for this, please. I know that for a lot of people out there, WALL-E is one of Pixar's best. I mean, I watched this movie 2 weeks ago for the first time because I wanted to do this ranking, and I actually thought I wouldn't really care about this movie. I loved the second part of the movie though. It was really full of adventure and a nice plot twist about why they couldn't go back to Earth with the robots and everything. The first part, however, of the movie was a bit slow. And boring. It didn't really got me. It was not up until they got on like the spaceship that I was like, yes, now it's coming. But in the end, I did enjoy it a lot. It was fun. I was generally surprised about how much I liked this movie, actually. I loved the story, and thank God with the focus again on Lightning McQueen, because they could have just completely skipped Cars 2 and made Cars 3 Cars 2, if you get what I mean. Anyway, what I just love about the story is that it's about that quitting is not always weakness, knowing when it's your time, and just giving other people a chance. It is a cute movie, just altogether it's all very cute. I mean, the idea of the follow your dreams, even though you're a rat thing, is very funny in my opinion. It all works. Every character is good in their own way. I mean, the villain is great, being Skinner and Linguini, and just also the lead character in Raimi is very, very funny. And I mean, the Ratatouille ride in Disneyland Paris, anyone? I loved that ride. Placing the last 12 movies was hard because I love Finding Dory. The whole Dory finding her parents plot line is super touching, and the comic relief and the jokes are so on point. I mean, Gerald. And what I loved most about this movie was it's obviously Dory's movie, but Marlin and Nemo still had a big part, and you finally could see more of their dynamic together as father and son, since Nemo was lost in the first movie, so you didn't see him much. Not together, at least. Yeah, I love this movie. It's great. Hashtag Dory would do it. This time it wasn't what if toys had feelings, but what if monsters have feelings. As a kid, I must say I didn't watch this movie that much as I did with other Pixar movies. And it was only like until later I started to appreciate this movie. I really liked it. Still do. It's touching and yet super funny. I mean, it has a great villain. The jokes are on point. There's this first like big plot twist with that not Randall is the only villain in the movie. I mean, in the relationship between Boo and Sully, come on, gets you every time, doesn't it? You know, back in 1995, this movie came in like a bombshell, like a bomb, like boom. I cannot even imagine that because I was born a year later, but it has done so much for animation in a whole. And for a first movie of a new company, like an actual full-length movie, it's amazing. I mean, the whole thing about what if toys were alive, and it's the whole idea is so amazing, and the story is amazing. I love it really much. It's just I love the sequels more, so that's why Toy Story ends here. But it's a truly amazing movie. Oh, what a good dinosaur. Am I the only one who bloody love this movie? Because I hear so many other people who place this movie really low on their list, and I don't know why, because I cried my eyes out during this movie. It's so touching. It gave me all the feels. Like, it's crazy. There are so many touching moments in this movie which just makes me tear up thinking about them, and it's still action packed, like, and it's such a journey for Arlo, the main character. I just can't believe that many do not love this movie as much as I do, because I adored this pronto. Toy Story 2, the first sequel in the Pixar universe. I love Toy Story 2, but that has probably mostly to do also with my childhood. This was a movie I watched a lot. I had it on VHS tape, and I watched it so much. I love this movie better as Toy Story, as you can see, but that has probably to do because I watched it loads, and I really, really loved it. I mean, new characters being introduced. I loved Jessie, still do. She's an amazing girl power kind of character. And for me, the story had like even more depth with like Emily abandoning Jessie and the whole story around that. Amazing. Almost all the stories in Pixar movies are so fresh and touching. I mean, this story is about a single parent who loses the only son he has, but they are fish in the ocean and it still managed to touch you really, really well. I mean, that's genius. Also, the way they animated the ocean is absolutely stunning. This movie touched me as a kid. I remember crying and stuff, but it still does. Up. This movie wrecks you completely in the first 8 minutes, and the movie barely started. This movie is such a gem. Pixar again created such lovely side characters in this movie with Russell and Doug, and I don't know, but the whole story about thinking that you need to go out there and go on an adventure while you just had a complete adventure already. It's beautiful. The Incredibles 2! I watched it last Sunday after it finally being released in the UK. But 14 years! They made us wait 14 years, but I must say it was worth the wait. I love how it's a superhero movie, but they create like everyday problems in the family, like Dash's maths homework and Violet's love problems with Tony, and Bob barely getting any sleep because of Jack Jack, and then Helen's storyline with the screenslaver. It's so good and it's a must-see, and absolutely loved it from start to finish. I think this movie is so good because everyone recognizes themselves in Riley. I mean, everyone had that first day at a new school that you don't know anyone, and then you need to introduce yourself. I mean, it's so recognizable. I mean, I moved to another town when I was 5 years old, not 11, but I still could relate so much. And also the part like when Bing Bong gets forgotten, and it's terrible. I still bawl my eyes out every time that happens. It's another Pixar movie that creates such touching moments with a really nice, refreshing story. As soon as I watched this movie, I knew it was one of my new favorites, and then like a few days after, I watched it again because I loved it so much. The music is great. The Spanish in the songs really makes it stand out. The movie had an amazing plot twist, in my opinion. A lot of people saw it coming. At least I heard a lot of people saw it coming. I did not. Maybe I just don't watch movies that way. Just the whole message of the movie, follow your dreams, but family is still important, is amazing. And of course, the animation, like with the skeletons and everything, Pixar really outdid themselves with this one. Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending to all the movies. Hence, I am a bit skeptical about Toy Story 4, but we will see. The whole Andy grew up thing, and the toys are going to kindergarten, and they meet Lotso, and I don't know, the story is really touching because, we all grow up and we all stop playing with our toys. And also the scene where they almost get burned, it gets me every time. It's so sad. And luckily it all ends well, but yeah, I love this movie. I love this movie. I was 8 when this movie came out, and I watched it so much, and it never got boring. And later I think I saw myself in Violet. We're both shy and want to be invisible, so I know I recognize myself in her. And I mean, every character in this movie is great. And then, Edna, no capes! Amazing. That whole character, Edna Mode, is just amazing. And Syndrome. He's an epic villain, one of the best in the Pixar universe, I think.